Yeah.
You know, I have a freezer full of refrigerator full of food, and a freezer full of food. Why would you? Why would you do that? I mean, and then you're trying to say, and then he said I threatened him. I didn't threaten him. This is what I promised him. I said, God hates ugly. Whatever you nightmare you put on me, it'll be a nightmare. It's gonna happen to you, because God, whatever goes around comes around, and that's what I
Do you
believe.
mind if Joe just he has a couple questions?
Okay.
Do you mind? I apologize, but
It's cool. It's cool.
Thank you very much.
he didn't ask. I
All
asked.
right.
He's with
LA Times.
no. He's a reporter.
Okay. Can I also film that? Can I film this, Didi? Okay.
Just out of concern for the kids, like you've got four kids who are one. You've got your daughter, your adopted daughter, and then two foster children. What are the states? I mean, what have you told them? What's the month for each kid?
No, a little more than that.
A little more than that.
But it's been less, and that's what I was telling Abdul about.
Because I was wondering if, like, I mean, I'm not trying to give advice. I'm a reporter. I'm such like, I'm wondering about if the income of, well, 12 times 4 is 48, so about 5 grand. If that's, you know, you can get a pretty good place for that. I mean, is there a hope? I mean, do you have the kind of access to funds for an interim living city? If the worst happens and Thursday's it, some court says no, you can't do that. I mean, you have the money from the state to be able to find another place somewhere for the kids to live, because I'm still trying to figure out the situation. But just as a human being, a reporter aside, it's kind of like there's one adult, but then there's the kids who are just kind of caught up in this. What do they know about mortgages or the housing crisis
But they
or
know
anything
about
like this?
things that's illegal, because I took them and explained to them, and
Well,
that
I mean,
they know about we were illegally evicted
right.
at Lola on a Pasadena property in Lola. And
yeah, and what happened with that? Was that
we
also
had
your sister's place?
No, it was my mother-in-law's place.
Okay.
But
and they foreclosed on that?
they foreclosed legally after it was reversed back to her. Same scenario that we're talking about now. Okay, dual tracking, all that. She was in a modification. She was making her modification when they sold that property to an investor. And all the illegal stuff that happened to me in the lawsuit, it was brought on by an investor telling the police, telling the sheriff that I'm illegally there. That's the same thing Abdul did.
So this is kind of like a repeat of what happened on Lola.
Exactly.
And the kids lived in Lola before 2009, 2010?
Yes, they moved there 2007.
07 to 2010?
Yeah, we
When were you evicted from Lola? What month? What year?
The September 2011.
2011? Okay, September 2011. And so, yeah, so you're getting...
And then we have a federal lawsuit with that property.
And so the kids, but I mean the kids, you're getting enough money from DCFS, like something like 5 grand. Well, 1,200 times 4 would be like, that's like what, 48?
Yeah,
plus
but
a little more
one
than
of
that
the
would be
children
if they have disabilities, then you get more because it's hard. Yeah, and that one's got to go to food, clothes, the housing, everything.
And special
and my question
programs
was,
and stuff like
right,
that.
my question was, do you find yourself with enough to be able to provide another housing environment, to be able to rent another place for under $5,000 a month?
I can rent another place, but you have to realize one thing. Children like consistency. They like to know that they have something and that is theirs. And somebody to come back, especially they know Mr. Khan as a nice guy that my mom did business with, been to his home. So my kids know him as a nice guy. And then to come with the police and say, your mom is a bad person. Your mom isn't anything. She can't be trusted. She's filed so many bankruptcies. She's not a good person. She's not a good mom. Look at the place.
Khan told your kids you filed how many bankruptcies?
5.
That's not true, is it?
No, it's true.
Yeah. was that all recently or just
No,
over the course of?
over since
But that
2000.
really has nothing to do with this house because this is your sister's house. And
But
she's
I
renting it
have,
to you.
but I have a bankruptcy on this house, with this house,
Yeah, I saw that.
This is
paper.
LA
What
Times.
is that about? It's
because
just when you were living there, you have to
I
get a
gave them
bankruptcy.
notice. I gave the police and the sheriff notice that I have a right to be here under bankruptcy, and any order need to be enforced through
But it was
the
your
bankruptcy.
sister's house anyway.
But I have a right as a tenant under the lease. Even under Obama, you have a right to a 90-day, even as a tenant in a foreclosed property. I didn't make this up.
Yeah,
The
no, I
President
know about
Obama
that. 90
did.
days. Well, you're a renter. You have renters have rights. Yeah.
I didn't get my
I
rooms
just
right.
didn't understand what. Yeah, it's like, well, when did you get bankruptcy? That was about more than 90 days ago, right?
Yeah,
Right then.
yeah.
So then all the hijinks happen with
But
these
see,
houses. Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
When my sister had a sell date, April 25th, 2011, she had a sell date. And she had got a modification agreement April 15th, 2011,
Gotcha.
that said that come June 1st, if all her paperwork was in, they gave her a cutoff date by the 15th of May. All her paperwork had to be in, and then her first modification payment was supposed to start June 1st, 2011.
But
And then they sold the property back to themselves. The bank sold it back to themselves.
the dual tracking kind of thing. Yeah.
And then sold it to they assigned it to Bank of New York Mellon after they foreclosed. How can you sign something to somebody and they assigned it in Bank of New York Mellon?
All right. Well, thanks for clearing that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, my question that came earlier about the phone that was just, I'm just because it's like no
That's
matter what
it.
anybody thinks about this guy or about you, these kids are foster, they're these are their kids,
and they're
I
kids.
just wanted to know that if they
yes,
if they were,
and I'm gonna
if
make
you had the
sure
money to be able to.
I'm gonna make sure that we have a place to go. But the children, if you could interview and talk to them, but they couldn't. We couldn't because
of the state restrictions.
State
right?
restrictions.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't going to.
But
try to
I'm
force
just saying.
myself,
But the
if you
bottom
wanted to talk,
line is, they would tell you through their therapist. I'm sure the therapist would tell you the kids are proud that
it's all private, but
they're
proud to be fighting. You were saying
they're proud because this is their house. We're fighting. My sister's fighting the bank and fighting for this because of these children. These children have a right to housing.
Right.
And nobody should illegally evict anybody. All you have
and
to
that's
do
where
is
it
get a
comes
court
back
order.
is the illegal eviction.
Get an order. I abide by orders. If a judge gave me an order and said you can't be here, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't put my kids in harm's way. But he does not have an order. He did a illegal eviction. He just came with the police, not the sheriff. He came with the police
And he changed the locks that way.
and changed the locks. And now the police are letting them, since he changed the locks, now he can throw all my stuff away.
Right. Well, when you were saying that children, had a right to housing, that's why, I think that some people are going to be concerned. The kids are living here. They don't really have, they have to come here for the bus. They're living in Duarte, like making sure that the kids have a right to housing, being the housing now where the kids are.
Yeah, because I'm in if we can't legally get back in here.
Their clothes are like in abandoned cars and stuff.
If you can't,
it's not good.
Well, first of all, the kids, we didn't want to put the stuff over there because I thought at any point that Abdul would do the right thing because Carlos had been in touch with the bank, but now that I seen what he just did now, he doesn't want. His whole deal was with me. He told me, "Don't say nothing, Didi. I want to put $40,000 in it. I want the bank to pay me back $40,000, but I'm only going to put about $5,000. But I want to charge the bank $40,000. This is how I make my money.
Well, I can't take that
I
for
know,
him, but
but
I know
I'm
what
just
you're,
saying,
I
but
understand what you're trying to tell me.
that's
Yeah.
that's what he's doing now. He's
Right, and my
trying to
only
get
question was, like, do the kids have adequate housing now while the struggle is occurring?
Yeah, well,
Do they have,
yeah.
because they have a right to housing, as you said, do they have that? Are
Yes.
their rights to housing being fulfilled now, where
Yes.
they're living here and closed inside a, like, an empty house, empty car, and they're, like, taking showers in Duarte or whatever?
No, we live and sleep there. We just come here
To before and after school?
Yeah.
Well, you know that under federal state law, since they're foster kids, if they were to leave Pasadena, they have every right to stay where they live.
Oh, they're in charter
it's the
school.
McKinney-Vento.
They're in.
Well, it's
that's not
if
why.
transportation is the issue, but
No,
McKinney-Vento, it's
No.
Are they in charter school? Are they in
Odyssey.
the elephant? Oh, they're in Odyssey.
Odyssey, and then one is at PUSD school, Focus Point.
Yeah,
But
Focus Point Academy. Yeah.
but basically the kids, my sister,
But they
it's
have
just her.
They have a clean place to sleep. Okay, that was the question. All right, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna talk to my editor, see what's going on. But we'll probably do a story, I think, and then we'll probably be back. He said that on Thursday, the guy, Abdul, the investor guy, said on Thursday he was going to come, open this up to let you guys take out any goods you wanted from the house, anything that's yours, take it out, and that's it. I mean, it probably, I don't know what that, you have to talk to your lawyer about that. But I don't know if you know what time that's going to occur. I'm going to come back here on Thursday and just observe what happens. That's the plan. So, all right, so that's it for me. All right, thank you for speaking with me. I'll be in touch. All right, thank you for allowing me to interrupt your interview.
It's cool.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
He seems really nice. I hope he doesn't twist your story.
That's the LA Times for you, though.
Yeah, sometimes they do it great, and sometimes they get it twisted, and
Yes.
that's the media for you. Cheryl said it kept asking the same question over and over again.